Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Muhammad Rizky Altriawan. I'm from English Education Department. In here, I want to explain about what I found in a movie. Its name is A Streetcar Named Desire. In this presentation, I will explain about the intrinsic and extrinsic elements of the movie. The first one is characters. The main characters is Blanche DuBois, Stella's older sister, who was a high school English teacher in Laurel, Mississippi, until she was forced to leave her post. Blanche is a loquacious and fragile woman around the age of 30. The second one is Stella Kowalski, Blanche's younger sister, about 25 years old and of a mild disposition that visibly sets her apart from her more vulgar neighbors. Stella possesses the same time-worn, aristocratic heritage as Blanche, but she jumped the sinking ship in her late teens and left Mississippi for New Orleans. The next is Stanley Kowalski, the husband of Stella. Stanley is the epitome of vital force. He is loyal to his friends, passionate to his wife, and heartlessly cruel to Blanche. The next is Harold Mitchell, Stanley's army friend, co-workers, and poker buddy, who courts Blanche until he finds out that she lied to him about her sordid past. Mitch, like Stanley, is around 30 years of age, though he is clumsy, sweaty, and has unrefined interests like muscle building. Mitch is more sensitive and more gentlemanly than Stanley and his other friends, perhaps because he lives with his mother who is slowly dying. That's all. Okay, next, Eunice, Stella's friend, upstairs neighbor, and landlady. Eunice and her husband, Steve, represent the low-class carnal life that Stella has chosen for herself. The next one is Alan Gray, the young man with poetic aspiration who Blanche fell in love with and married as teenager. The next is Seth Lake, a former suitor of Blanche whom she met again a year before her arrival in New Orleans, while vacationing in Miami. And for the next is the plot. The first is exposition. In here, Blanche DuBois, an aching Southern debutante, arrived at her sister's home in New Orleans, hoping to start a new life after losing her ancestral mansion, her job, and her reputation in her hometown of Laurel, Mississippi. Blanche's brother-in-law, a macho working-class guy named Stanley Kowalski, is so filled with class resentment that he seeks to destroy Blanche's character in New Orleans as well. His cruelty, combined with Blanche's fragile, insecure personality, leaves her mentally detached from reality by the play's end. The next is pressing action. In here, Blanche immediately rouses the suspicion of Stanley, who wrongly suspects Blanche of swindling Stella out of her inheritance. Blanche grows to despise Stanley when she sees him drunkenly with her pregnant sister. Stanley permanently despises Blanche after he overhears her trying to convince Stella to leave Stanley because he is common. Already suspicious of Blanche's act of superiority, Stanley researches Blanche's past. He discovers that in Laurel Blanche was known for her sexual promiscuity and for having an affair with a teenage student. He reports his finding to Blanche's tutor, Mitch, dissuading Mitch from marrying Blanche. The next is for the climax. After Stanley treats Blanche cruelly during her birthday dinner, giving her a bus ticket back to Laurel as a present, Stella goes into labor. She and Stanley depart for hospital, leaving Blanche alone in the house. Mitch arrives, drunk, and breaks off his solution to let Blanche. Blanche, alone in her apartment once more, drowns herself in alcohol and dreams impossible rescue. Stanley returns to the apartment from the hospital and rapes Blanche. And the following action, weeks after that, Stella secretly prepares for Blanche's departure to an instant asylum. She tells her neighbor, Eunice, that she simply could not believe Blanche's situation that Stanley raped her. Unwary of reality, Blanche boasts that she is leaving to join a millionaire suitor. When the doctor arrives, Blanche leaves after a minor struggle, and only Stella and Mitch, who sits in the kitchen with Stanley, poker players, seems to express real remorse for her. The resolution, with the death and birth of Stella and Stanley's child over and done with, the play's final scene was falling action written all over it. Blanche's descent into madness is complete, and we are now looking at the aftermath to the judgment that took place at the earlier climax. The next is the setting. In here, setting of time is 1940s, around that time. The place is New Orleans, Louisiana. For the next theme, fantasy inability to overcome reality, the relation between life and death, depends on man, and the next point of view. Third person omniscient point of view, Dennis Williams does not tell the story through only one character's eyes, and no individual narrates the development or introduces the scenes. The moral value we get in the movies, lying ultimately gets you nowhere. Abuse is never good. Treat people how you want to be treated. Stay true to yourself and don't judge a book by its cover. And a very important moral lesson that I gained from Streetcar Named Desire is to always tell the truth no matter what. And that is, thank you.